Hey guys, Love Gaming Retro here again, and today we're going to be going through a brand new review. God of War, or God of War 2018, or God of War 4, starts at least hundreds of years after the story of God of War 3. Kratos has left Greece and is now in Midgard, one of the 9 realms of Norse mythology. He finds it difficult to connect with his son Atreus. Then again, what parent doesn't with their teenage child, am I right? While they both work side by side to light the funeral pyre of Faye, Kratos' late wife and Atreus' mother. Kratos uses as his primary weapon the beautiful Leviathan axe, which comes back to him when thrown, very much Thor-like. A stranger has been sent by Odin to Kratos' home to get answers and ends up attacking Kratos. The two go head to head and smash everything in their way. Kratos stops the stranger by snapping his neck, but surprise surprise, when he finds out even that doesn't get rid of the stranger. Kratos and Atreus start their journey to go and scatter Faye's ashes on the peak of the highest mountain, which was her wishes. The two meet many characters along the way who help them in one way, shape or form to reach their destination, like the Dwarf Brothers, Brock and Sindri, who upgrade their gear, the Wild Serpent, Jormungandr, if I've pronounced that correctly, and the Witch of the Woods. After they arrive at Alfheim to get hold of a light that can break through a black mist on the highest mountain, Kratos and Atreus meet Mimir, a god, or the head of a god, stuck in a tree. Mimir informs Kratos that Faye was referring to the highest peak in the 9 realms, which is in Jotunheim, land of the giants. Jotunheim is pretty much blocked, however there are some secret passages that can help them get there. Mimir asks Kratos to chop off his head and bring him to the witch, who brings the head back to life. Kratos and Atreus, carrying on their journey, get interrupted and attacked by Magni and Modi. While they kill Magni, Atreus becomes extremely unwell, which Freya says is due to him not knowing his divine nature. Kratos has to make his way into Helheim to get hold of a specific heart to heal Atreus. When Atreus recovers, Kratos finally tells him the truth. They are both gods. Problem now is, he's only gone and told a teenager that he's a god, so what comes next? Getting cocky, becoming arrogant, and not listening to Kratos when he needs to. In Jotunheim, they both realise that the giants are all dead. They eventually are able to scatter Faye's ashes and learn that she was actually also a giant. Atreus also learns that his mother had a different name for him, none other than Loki. Kratos and Atreus finally return home and learn that Fimbulwinter, the fierce winter that precedes Ragnarok, has started 100 years earlier than expected. Atreus then has a dream that Thor will arrive at their house. I wonder why. First of all, let's get it out there right away. Was this game made with the priority being the graphics? I'm going to personally say no, but that's not to say the graphics are bad at all. In fact, the graphics are pretty damn good. The expressions in both Kratos and Atreus are very detailed, but if we are comparing this graphics to the power that the PlayStation consoles can handle, then it's no Last of Us, if you catch my drift. The only surprise I found was that Kratos, a very linear way, just works, and works extremely well. The movement is superb. The only surprise I found was that Kratos can't jump, but I got over that within the first few minutes of the game. The fighting scenes are very precise, and having Atreus there as a backup by hitting square to get him to fire those arrows is just that little more helpful for taking down those big beasts. The combo moves given to Kratos by continuous upgrades, which gives Kratos slightly improved looks to his costume in the game, are brilliant. And the hammer coming back at a press of a button and the way it feeds back into Kratos' hand is so satisfying. I'm a sucker for a good soundtrack, but even more for a great one, and this game has nailed the soundtrack. It really lifts that Norse mythology feel to the game. It's got that suspense for every sudden move or instant worry that occurs in the game, as well as the victorious music when you've accomplished a task. The owner of the soundtrack really knew what they were doing there.
But I am your monster no longer.
I couldn't get over how well the script in God of War has been written. And for me, it's not just about the storyline, because the story or plot of the game is quite simple to understand, but the relationship, build-ups, and emotion in the script got me hooked all the way through the game. From Atreus being too trusting to other characters, from the father and son relationship strain both Kratos and Atreus constantly went through.
And not speak a word. I am your father, and you, boy, are not yourself. You are too quick to temper. You are rash, insubordinate, and out of control. This will not stand.
To the up and down moments with Freya. You even learnt to love Brock and the relationship he had with his brother. Typical two brothers bickering non-stop. Who can't love that? If I was to say anything slightly negative or what I didn't enjoy about this game, it would be that there were times the game felt a little bit too linear, where you were constantly restricted due to the journey or the path of the game only allowing you in one direction, and you couldn't sort of tend to explore in other places unless you was rowing your boat through the seas, which did feel much more open. But once you were on land, it was very limited based on it being a completely linear game. But as a linear game, you couldn't get any better. As there is no such thing as a perfect game for me, this sits extremely high on the scoring board. If you haven't yet played this game, I would make a start before the game we are all waiting for arrives in November this year, God of War Ragnarok. I am giving God of War a 9.4 as a Love Gaming Retro score. Hope you all enjoyed the review, guys. Stay tuned as I'll be reviewing another highly rated game based on similar mythology in the next few days. Stay with Love Gaming Retro for much more reviews, news and gameplay, all for you.